The weekly blend from the coffee shops. My name is Heidi Ellsworth,
And I'm Karen Edwards.
and we're here together, and I believe we're both in our home offices.
We are, but not for long.
Not for long. Oh my gosh. So, Karen, let's start out about where you've been. Where were you last week?
I was at NERCA, the Northeast Roofing Contractors Association, 97th trade show and
Wow.
convention. Yeah. We were in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Alex Toll was with me. We talked to so many people, contractors, partners. Everybody was excited to be there. We did some videos. So
Oh,
go
great.
out to our YouTube channel and check out the playlist from NERCA. We talked to some of our friends there about the show and what was happening in their booth. And it was just a lot of fun. It's a great event with great people. So yeah, that was last week. And then tomorrow, I'm hopping on a plane and going up to Rhode Island for JLC Live, and it's my first time. So
Yeah. First time for the coffee shops.
I'm super excited. Now we don't have a booth, but I'm going to be there in person. I will have my tripod, my microphones. I'm going to be talking to some people, maybe doing some YouTube live there as well, and really looking forward to that. It's supposed to be a nice weekend in the Northeast.
You're the reporter on the street. You're out there finding out what's going on.
That's right. So if you ever wondered what JLC Live is or what it's like, yeah, follow along because I'll be doing some videos and we'll be posting some pictures and clips as well on our social media.
Yeah, big thank you to all of our partners who have talked about JLC, which stands for Journal of Light Construction. It's one of the premier, it's a regional show, but it's one of the premier shows in the country. And we have a number of our coffee shop advertising partners who are going to be there. And they just speak really highly of it. So we're excited to have Karen be there and reporting out through the coffee
Yay.
shops. Yeah.
Yeah, looking
Um,
forward to it. And you're headed out too, aren't you, Heidi?
I am. So next Tuesday, heading to Knoxville, Tennessee. And I have to tell you, I've never been to Knoxville, but I've heard about Knoxville because they get hailstorms.
Mm-hmm.
We've always heard a lot about Knoxville, Tennessee. So I'm really kind of excited to go visit. We're going to the National Frame Builders Association annual conference. It's great. Actually, the same group who puts on the Midwest MRCA show also are the association directors for National Frame Builders Association. So they do a great job. And excited to go there for Metal Coffee Shop and really talk to Karen. The thing that's interesting is you think National Frame Builders, right? And you're thinking, oh, it's wood. But a lot of buildings are now the frame buildings are now metal, and they're
Yeah.
using metal poles, metal across the board, and they've always used metal roofing on even the wood structures. So it's really fun to kind of see how this is all progressing and where metal is going to fit in on all that. So we'll get to see a lot of our friends there, and we'll be also going live to YouTube and interviewing a number of folks along with some contractors, hopefully a couple of erectors while we're there.
Yeah, and that would be on Metal Coffee Shop's YouTube channel. So be sure
Yes.
to subscribe to that and ring the bell.
And ringing the
It's
bell.
interesting because you mentioned all the steel, and we've got a coffee conversation tomorrow that's about one of the
Yes.
hottest topics in the
I
industry
know.
right now, and that's steel tariffs,
Yeah.
right?
It's steel and aluminum are the tariffs, and it's April 2nd that really is kind of the deadline date at this point. It changes daily. But it's, I have to tell you, Karen, I did a practice with the experts from Sherwin-Williams last week and blown away blown away at how informative, how brilliant, smart these folks are. And I tell you, anybody, you got to be on tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern. It's going to blow your mind on stuff you didn't even think about. And this is going to sound really crazy, but we think we're in construction, right? And we're in roofing. So we think metal buildings, metal roofing, metal. But you know what, Karen? It's not just the materials, it's tools, it's
Oh,
cars, it's refrigerators, it's anything that has metal in it. Is pricing will probably go up. Now you need to listen tomorrow to get. I'm not the expert. I'm just repeating what I heard, but it kind of blew my mind because I was thinking, well, what about all those metal snips out there?
Oh,
You
yeah.
know? Yeah. And
Think
where are
about
they
all the metal
made?
that's used in HVAC.
Yes. I
Wow.
know a lot. Metal's in our life a lot. And so it's going to affect us across the board. And Melanie is one of our presenters, just is an expert. And so be sure to check it out. It's going to be great. I'm really
Yeah, I'm
excited.
excited that my flight is later in the day, so I
Yeah.
will get to tune in tomorrow morning. Yes.
I know. Megan and I will be there, and you'll be there, and I think we're going to get a lot of. I already had looked at the numbers; they're already pretty phenomenal. There's going to be a big crowd, so we want all of your input. We want you to chat. We want you to ask questions. So join us in the morning, and um, 2 weeks after that, we are having a codings talk. You'll be with Megan Ellsworth, and I'm really excited about this because it's from our friends at Dataforma, and they're going to be talking about job site productivity and tracking, and with Brian Cook, who is everyone knows Brian Cook. If you
Yep.
don't, you should. And Dataforma is just doing such amazing development software that's really helping contractors in commercial. And it's been around. It's the OG. It's really
Yep.
the
Yeah.
OG.
Yeah. They've been around a long time. And yeah, this is all about tracking your daily productivity, right?
Yeah.
Because that's going to help you improve your profitability. So definitely you want to tune in and hear those tips and tricks of how contractors are doing that and how you should be doing that in your business.
And if you want to prep, just go ahead and listen to the podcast I did with Brian. It is the top of the list under roofing road trips right now. That may not stay that way that long, but right now it's at the very top, and it's about project management, which is another section of Dataforma that is just phenomenal. And he was amazing, Karen. So if you really kind of want to get excited for that coding stock, check out his podcast first, and along with their directory online, of course on Roofers Coffee Shop. So
Yeah.
speaking of podcasts, let's talk podcasts a little bit because man,
Wow.
you and Megan and I have been cranking on the podcast. So much great information. What's some of your favorites, Karen?
Wow. They're all my favorite,
Yeah,
Heidi.
they're all favorites.
Yes, it's so interesting. We're so lucky that we get to have these conversations with all these people
I
in the
know.
industry. And each week, well, we promote anywhere from 2 to 4 on our social media, like, hey, check out these podcasts. And this week was all about kind of technology and innovation. And I just interviewed Patrick Fingles from Leap, and he was talking about using technology to build trust with homeowners and
Yeah.
really differentiating your company and setting yourself apart. And he had some really good tips and tricks. He was a contractor for many years
Yeah.
and developed the software platform that they have today for his business, and
Right.
it worked so well. He rolled it out for everybody else to use, and he just brings a lot of insight and information. And I was like, wow, there's some really good nuggets in this conversation, from how to present yourself to your customers, to marketing yourself, to the tools that you use in your business. So I would highly recommend tuning into that. And then Heidi,
Yeah.
you did a podcast. We promoted it on Monday with who was it?
Joel Stanley with
That's right.
Anchor Products. Wow. It was, I kind of look up to these guys. I have to tell you, I've known the Stanley brothers for a long time, and Joel Stanley is such an inventor. His mind just innovation, invention, and when you really look at Anchor Products and what they've done on the rooftop to secure rooftop equipment, piping, all of that, the Anchor Products are just phenomenal, and all really kind of from the brain of Joel. So listen to that podcast because he kind of shares how he thinks of things, talking to contractors. He grew up in a contractor family, and again, just an awesome podcast. I really enjoyed it and had a lot of information. So, and
Hey, some
it's
some of the best products out there came from the minds
Yes.
of contractors,
I
right?
know.
Because they're
Yes.
solving problems that they have. So
Yes.
you know it's going to work.
Yeah.
I
And
love
it
it.
has. I mean, it is, the anchor products are now specified. You have to use them. And it's all because they work and it's safety and reduces risk for the building owners and for the contractors. So great podcast. Check it out. And you know what? Even though they're not podcasts of the week, I want to kind of point out Tony and Kristen. You did an interview with them. I've done a couple interviews with them. I love them.
I do too. Yeah, they are just bring such good insight. And this topic was all about counter offers. And that
Mm.
happens a lot. And maybe you've had an employee that says they're leaving and you make a counter offer. Or should you?
Or
Right?
should
So
you? Yeah.
we kind of talked about the pros and the cons and considerations. So it's really a good listen. And with the labor being so tight, and you wanting to retain and keep your people, I'd say that's worth listening to. It's about 20-25 minutes. Just
Yep.
pop it on while you're doing something else or driving in the car, and you'll get some good information from that.
And they are with High Peak Staffing. They are one of the premier recruitment firms out there. And we talk to them all the time. They have had a number of contractors come from Roofers Coffee Shop who have had great success working with them to recruit labor and C suite across the board.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm pretty sure Tony has an athletic background, and so he
Yes.
approaches recruiting with that mindset,
Yeah.
like a sports team.
Yeah, kind of like you, Karen.
Yeah.
There you go. Yes, very much. Hey, in the newsroom, Karen, one of the things that you and I really haven't talked about too much, so I'm kind of excited about this, is AmRise. And if you're
What the
wondering,
heck
like,
is Amrise?
yeah, what is that? Amrise is the new name for the North American spinoff of Wholesome. So, for all of you, you probably already know this, but Wholesome is the umbrella, the top, or was the top company for companies like Elevate, Duralast, Malarkey, and these companies now will be under the umbrella of what is called Amrise, and it's going to be its own North American spinoff. But what's cool, Karen, is there's breaking news in the newsroom. Just go down under the newsroom and you'll see it. And yesterday they had their investor call or investor day. It was Amrise Investor Day 2025. And you can go in, fill out the form, and go listen to it. So if you're really interested in kind of what's happening on that bigger level, because obviously Elevate, formerly Firestone, and Malarkey and Duralast are all, leading companies and are all part of this Amrise overall. Lots of good information. You and I were
Yeah.
both reading through it going, wow, this is really cool stuff. So,
Exciting stuff. Yeah. Like you said, these are the major manufacturers and suppliers in the industry. So
yeah,
you want to stay
yeah.
on top of what's happening.
Those relationships, you want to know what's happening. And classified. So I just have to say, you never know what you're going to find in the classifieds ever.
If I had a
And
nickel for every time you said that,
I
I would
know
be so rich.
we'd be rich. We'd be going out to dinner. The So on the Coatings Coffee Shop, because you'll find different things on the different shops. On the Coatings Coffee Shop right now is terrazzo polymer flakes line. So if you're doing any type of flooring, concrete, different things where you're doing decorative, which I know we're doing on definitely on Coatings Coffee Shop, but sometimes across the board, go check it out. It's there. Who would know, right? But Karen, you saw, as always, we're going into the spring, lots of storms. You saw some stuff on the Roofers Coffee Shop.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you're looking for work, there's a lot of companies in one in Louisville, St. Louis, these parts of the country that have just been hit by terrible storms lately.
Yeah.
They need help, right? They need people to go take care of customers. So there's a lot of opportunity, and there's no reason that you shouldn't be working right now.
Yeah. If you're looking to move, if you're looking to go to warmer climates, go check it out. Well, Karen, Have fun at JLC. I'm a little jealous. I love that stuff.
I know, I know. It's a little easier for me to get there though,
A
since I'm
little
on the
bit.
East Coast.
Rhode Island. And I'm excited about being next week in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
So next week we'll be back with the weekly blend. You never know. It could be me, could be Karen, could be Megan, could be,
Who's
you
gonna
just
be
never
there?
know. But I
Could
think
be
it'll be Karen and I. So
Dan.
we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Fun. The cough. Oh, I'm uploaded.